When Amsterdam is mentioned, the first things that come to mind are the city's romantic canals, bicycle streets, and Golden Age architecture, but beneath this picturesque view, literally beneath it, lies a network of technological mysteries that modern science still cannot explain. And ordinary canal maintenance and deepening work that began in 1865 resulted in a discovery that would shake Amsterdam's known history to its core. Workers encountered something unexpected during routine dredging excavations: walls of incredible dimensions that were never mentioned in 17th century records and lay far, far below the known depths. These structures did not resemble any technique in the Dutch waterworks manuals of that period. They were only vaguely referred to in engineering reports as pre-existing infrastructure. So what was this pre-existing infrastructure? And by whom was it built? This is where the story begins to move in an unexpected direction. All traditional Amsterdam canals operate on the principle of gravity. Water flows with natural slopes, and the city's water management system is based on this simple rule of physics. However, these structures discovered in the deep layers contained a completely different engineering philosophy. Some canals were built with angles that forced water upward against gravity, and with highly advanced sealed systems. This is a feature that cannot be explained by pre-17th century technology, because pressurized hydraulic systems are inventions from after the Industrial Revolution. Even more astonishing was the true nature of the massive circular structures classified as wells or depots. After detailed examinations, these structures were identified as symmetrical, perfectly engineered pressure tanks, and it was determined that they had pressurized liquid storage capacity. Modern engineers realized that these systems were designed not for transportation or simple water distribution, but to distribute pressurized water throughout the city by using water as an energy transmission medium. In other words, beneath Amsterdam could lie an ancient energy network that converted water into mechanical power. This finding alone is extraordinary, but the real shock came when the construction quality of these structures was examined. The joints between the stones and the canal walls were so perfect that not even a piece of paper could fit between them. This kind of precision resembles modern laser cutting technology and is absolutely impossible to achieve with pre-17th century hand tools. Detailed studies on the stones detected traces left by precision mechanical drilling machines that should not have existed in that period. Even more mysterious was the metal and stone fusion discovered in some canal walls. Metal frames poured directly into the stones or fused at high temperatures. This kind of metallurgical knowledge indicated a technological level far, far beyond Amsterdam's golden age. So who built such a system, when, and why? And more importantly, why was this system completely erased from official historical records? This is where the story turns from a scientific discovery into a systematic cover-up. When these findings began to pose a serious threat to Amsterdam's official historical narrative, the process changed suddenly and suspiciously. The most solid, most advanced, and best preserved pressure chambers were immediately closed by being filled with rubble and mud under the pretext of structural safety concerns. Detailed information about these deep layers was mysteriously removed and deleted from municipal archives and engineering reports. The structures were dismissed only with vague and trivializing terms such as old plumbing or historical infrastructure remains. The most striking thing is how the excavation projects were completed, especially at the points where the most sophisticated technology was reached and the most advanced engineering examples emerged. The projects were suddenly stopped without any explanation. This indicated a pattern too systematic to be just a coincidence. When the information in the sources is brought together, the picture that emerges is quite disturbing. Amsterdam's famous canals appear to have been built on top of an energy network that was much older, much more advanced, and built for a completely different purpose. 17th and 18th century Dutch engineers integrated this ancient system into their own modernization projects like add-ons. But because they could not fully understand, explain, and perhaps control the system, they chose to seal the findings. This approach reflects a pattern we see in many ancient civilization remains. Modern humans were using the structures of previous civilizations, but not being able to fully grasp their original purpose and technology. Think about it. Tourists taking boat tours on Amsterdam's romantic waterways today do not know that beneath their feet still lies buried a massive machine that once powered the entire city, operating on pressurized hydraulic principles. Perhaps this machine was not just carrying water. Perhaps it was generating energy. Perhaps it was creating a power source for a giant mechanical system. Or perhaps it was designed for a purpose we cannot even imagine today. Modern science and engineering struggle to explain the construction techniques of these structures because the precision and technology used do not fit the chronology that official history teaches us. The millimetric tolerances between stones, high-temperature metal fusion, pressurized systems working against gravity, and giant pressure tanks should be products of post-industrial revolution technologies, but they were built at least 400 to 500 years ago, or perhaps much earlier. This situation confronts us with an inevitable question: what existed before Amsterdam? Official history says that Amsterdam began as a small fishing village in the 12th century and reached its peak during the Golden Age in the 17th century. However, these underground findings may point to the existence of a much older, much more advanced settlement. Perhaps the Dutch, just as the Romans used ancient Greek cities and the Ottomans used Byzantine structures, built their own cities on the remains of a much older civilization. And perhaps this civilization had reached a level in hydraulic engineering that we have not even achieved today. The revelation of this covered-up information may require us to rewrite not only Amsterdam's history, but also Europe's and perhaps humanity's history. When you visit Amsterdam today, you will see those beautiful 17th century canal houses on the UNESCO World Heritage List, the narrow streets and wooden bridges. But now you know that beneath them lies a much deeper, much older, and much more mysterious world. Perhaps one day these pressure chambers will be reopened, the sealed tunnels will be discovered, and the deleted archives will come to light. On that day, we will understand that Amsterdam is not just a beautiful canal city, but a living museum that houses the last remains of a lost technology. For now, we must be content with this knowledge. Amsterdam's canals are much deeper than what you see, and this depth is not only physical but also historical.